All right, I'm back in the workshop, and last time we left off with the Buzz Wagon, and I'm going to continue working on the Buzz Wagon and show you what I did since we left off last. So what I was telling you guys was the Buzz Wagon was from Adorbs Rides, which is a Funko product, Adorbs Rides car, and they come with these Funko type big figures. And that's not going to work with my slot car track. Here's the Lumberjack and the Little Beaver, Sawtooth and Rufus Rough Cut. So you can see how much I cut it down. They don't even fit in there now. But what I have here are the parts I took away to make this the right size. So let's take a look what we got in here. Just dump these out. So this was the original size of it, the bottom. You could see how much I cut away. And then this is what I cut away, and you could see I was showing you last time where I cut it to shrink it down, and then I melded it back together, and it came out pretty clean. As a matter of fact, when I was showing you this part, I couldn't even tell where I cut it. These are the wheels that were on it, so I was able to replicate them with styrene plastic. Of course, to be on my slot car track, it needs to have real rubber tires, you know, good tires, so it'll stick to the track. These are aluminum wheels, high-end wheels with nice rubber tires. Here's the motor, the gear, the guide flag. So last time we left off, I was telling you I had 3D printed 2 sets of figures. The first one I felt was a little bit too big. No, the first one was too small. And then the second one I felt was a little bit too big. But actually the right size for the car. But too big in relation to the other wacky racer cars I built so far. So I decided to go with this smaller Rufus Rough Cut, but with the bigger Sawtooth. So where I left off, I was telling you I'm going to need like a little bench seat, and that's what I made here. I made this from styrene plastic. So I'm really happy with the way he came out. I inserted a magnet here, and he's got a magnet in his butt, and he will stay nicely on there. Okay, so this is the back part I whittled down, and then this I opened up here. It just comes out nicely, and then this piece fits in. Whoops. Like that. Pretty nice fit. So I was talking about using like magnets and a metal floor maybe, so I can adjust this depending on which figure I wanted to use. But when I finished doing it, it was like what you call a press fit. Like it's tight enough where it'll hold itself in place. So I figured that's good. I don't need to make this too complicated. The only thing is when it's a press fit, it'll probably scrape away some of the paint, but that's fine. Now I mixed the paint very well. So this is all painted. From a paint I mixed, it was orange and a little bit of green, maybe a little bit of yellow to brighten it. And it got a good match on that. So if you could see that. So this could slide back and forth depending on which figure I'm going to use. I'm going to be able to set it up with both figures. But for the slot car to be in ratio with the other cars, I'm going to go with the smaller guy. And like I said, he just magnetically fits in there. As far as the little beaver is concerned, I wound up going with magnets for his head so it could swivel. Okay. And when I put him in here, he wants his hands to be over here like this. Here they are right here. This is Rufus Rough Cut and that's Sawtooth. So when I do this, his tail keeps him up to the right height, so his hands are on there, but I don't know if you could see this, but let me see. He's floating a little bit. See, I don't know if you could see it. He's floating, which is fine. No one would see that, but you know, I like to make it as nice as possible. So, what did I put there? Let me get rid of. So these are all parts that were cut away to make this smaller. Like here's how much I cut out of the trunk of the tree in the front. And I keep all these. I guess it's good for reference. So I cut away all this. This is the part I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do with this little fellow is I painted a magnet. It's going to be like a little box. I could see him like standing on a little box. So I got a little magnet I painted with the paint. And on top of that, I got a little piece of tin, which is magnet, you know, will stick to a magnet. I'm going to glue that to his feet. And then I'll have the magnet in here. It'll be either adhered or I'll figure out a way to put the magnet in the right place, and then he'll just drop in and stick in place, and then he could be picked up and removed very easily. So I like that. I like to be able to take out the figures, show them, and take a look at them and put them back in. So I cut this little piece of tin. I've got the magnet. I'll put that in. He's ready to, the smaller guy's ready to go. The other thing is he came with the steering wheel and it floats a little bit. So I'm going to put a little piece of styrene plastic and create this driving, I guess, column and stuff. So just to make it a little bit more complete. Doesn't need it too. Just like with the sawtooth was floating, no one would ever see it. No one would ever really notice that it's not going to the floor, but I'll do it. I'll rough cut it and then get it to the right angles and stuff. So after getting all this stuff, so it's definitely in place and it looks good. So this is the two guys here. So they look pretty good together. And the next step would be cleaning this because, you know, I've been handling it and there's maybe chemicals from the 3D process. Cleaning it with soapy water, letting it dry for like 24 hours and then start painting it, priming it. And then I pulled out the paints. I've got a couple of different, he got green sleeves, got a couple of different greens. I use this Tamiya paint. It's pretty good. It's like an enamel, but it's synthetic enamel. It's kind of acrylic, but I thin it with lacquer thinner. I got the red, the flat red. So like I said, I'm not going to paint the plaid shirt. I'm just going to paint the flat red. I've got some skin colors I mixed myself for his skin. Flat yellow is for his hat, his helmet. I got the light blue for the goggles. And I got brown. I'll have to mix some brown. I guess I'll use this flat brown for the beaver. And then for his chest, maybe this. So what you could do is, I have the spray Tamiya too. And what I could do is, it's called decanting. So you take the spray can and you spray it into a bottle. It's called decanting, and then I could use that. So I might use, looks like I'm going to probably have to mix a little darker color. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. But, so I got the paints will be next. And I wanted to show you one more Dorbs ride. The next video, I'm going to show all of the Wacky Racer cars I have. There, 3 of them came from Dorbs rides. 3 of them came from the original model kits that came out in the 60s and 70s that, like I said, were very expensive. They were very rare, and I bought them all in different states of pieces missing, but I was able to make nice slot cars out of it. And one of them I made from another 32 scale model. But this is the Bouldermobile with one of the 2 Slag brothers. So this was a Dorbs ride, and I did the same exact thing. I cut it down. So I want to show you how much I cut this one down to get it to the right size. This is the figure that went in it. Right? It came with 1 Slag brother. It's no way even fitting in there now. So you could get an idea of how nicely this came down to the scale I needed. And I was able to use these parts to be, I think these would come off. Yeah. I made these nice wheel inserts. I have nice aluminum wheels, and I got these nice gray rubber tires, NSR tires. That'll snap in like a regular hub would be on a slot car. Here's what I wound up doing underneath for the chassis. Every chassis is a little different. And then I was able, these are pieces of solid styrene. And what I did was I used a Dremel and cut them. It came out really good, and I screwed that on. I like everything to be, you know, sort of really nicely done. No gluing or gooping stuff on. And then I remade these decals. So it came out really cool. So I need to make, I guess the next thing I need to do on this is make a little base. And then here's what I did. So, you know, just like with this guy, I had the car done, but I had no figures. Now I did these 3D printers. It's going to be great. This, I guess I could do the same thing, but it's going to be hard to get the right size. So what I did in the meantime is I carved this. I carved this out of 3 different kinds of woods. So it came out really good. And I like to do it nice. Like I said, this is the club, and it's made out of balsa wood. And that just slides in like that. And then the arms move, right? I like to have it where when the car goes, he goes like this, but it would be too fast. The car would be go, these move. Now I need to do a little, maybe more detail on the hand, maybe a little knuckling, maybe cut in here. So right now when he goes in, right now he just has a little bit of double stick tape. Like I said, I need to make a bottom. He snaps, he gets it in there with the tape, and it looks pretty cool. Let's see, like that. So I could maybe notch out his hand so that goes over the wheel better. But I'm pretty happy with that for now. You know, it definitely looks pretty cool. It's hard to figure out the scale of these things to each other. But this was a small car, but the cavemen were really big. So I'm really happy with the, so like I said, 3 different pieces of wood. To make these arms, I made it out of a hardwood dowel, because when I was making these out of balsa wood, they were splitting. So I only had so much depth to do the arms, but I think it came out good enough. And maybe I'll do 3D printing on that too, and have both. There's 2 guys actually that are in the car normally, the Slag brothers. But the reason why I'm showing this now is just to show how much it got cut down, because no way there's that fitting in there, you know? And that's not going to work with the other cars I have. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these cars and go into detail on how I built it, how I installed everything. So I'm real happy with the way these came out. And this one here, so this one here, I didn't want to paint. I wanted to keep this and this. I think that's the original. Might be the original. I wanted to keep this as it is, so I didn't paint it. So I just painted that little seam and stuff. This one here, I totally cut it down. I glued it. I sanded it smooth. You're not going to see any kind of seams, and it came out really good. I'm happy with the lights and everything. So everything really worked out well on that. So I have so far 7 of the cars made. There's 11 cars. There's still a lot of cars to be made that are hard. There's a plane, the Red Baron type plane. There's the Professor Pat Pending, Professor Pat Pending in the converter car. That's another plane. There's a tank. That looks cool. The Army Surplus Special. And there is one more. Oh, there's another one with a big bear and a hillbilly with a still in the back running it. So I could do those possibly in 3D. Because when I bought these, they were part of a whole car on eBay. They're like $50 or $55, which is fantastic for the whole car. I just commissioned the figures, and the guy charged me $25. I did 2 times I did it. So it cost me $50, which I was happy with. So I could do, I'm going to try possibly next getting the whole thing 3D printed in for the Army Surplus Special tank. Now, the problem with that is the resin's very heavy. This is very heavy. So I might have to hollow it out a little bit. And the key thing is, how am I going to figure out the scale? So this guy was printed at, the first guy was printed at 50% of what the guy was offering on eBay. You know, it's a big model, the one that he's printing. So I says, can you make it smaller? And then this one, I believe, was 70% of the original, was 60. So, you know, I'm thinking for the Army Surplus Special, I'll just have the whole thing for $50, which is a great price for 3D printing. This is very good quality 3D printing. It's a lot of printing, a lot of time, a lot of material. So I'll get the Army Surplus Special next and see, because I really wanted to make that one. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead with the planes and then the Big Bear one. But like I said, I've got 7 made so far, and I'm really happy with the way they came out. I love the cartoon. The cars are fun. And like I said, next video, I'm going to come and show you the other cars that I made from the models. There's one more I made from Adorb's Ride, but it didn't need to be cut down. And then I'll show you the ones I made from the vintage models, and then the one I made from a regular model. All right, so I guess my next thing is going to be to glue him onto here and then start painting. All right, that's it for today. Have a good day. And hopefully sometime soon, I'll be doing these live, you know. So, you know, for now, I'm just recording them. But this is my workbench. I'll also show my car collections. I collect the 132 scale Le Mans winners, like all the cars that won Le Mans since the 40s and 50s, all the way up to 60s, 70s, etc. I have a nice collection of those, and I have a collection of these cars. I make one-of-a-kind cars, and then I have a track and a lot of cars I run and race. So I'll be showing my track also, and here's a couple of cars that just happen to be here right now. So I made this one. I like the hot rods. So this is Van Dutch. You guys have probably heard of him. He was a famous detailer. He made these logos, and he would pinstripe and stuff. So I got these figures. This is a regular figure, but I got these wrestling figures. I think the Jack Specific. This might be Cena or something, but it sort of looks like him a little bit. And then I made this slot car. I used these nice, because some of these slot cars have these big wheels in the back. And then for this one, I used a little HO motor. And, you know, I make custom parts to make it fit in. So this is one of the custom cars. I'll probably do a video, I'm thinking, of each car. So I have about 50 custom cars I made, like do a 5-minute video, pull out the car, take it apart. Like all these things come apart with screws, as magnets. He probably comes out, let's see. Yeah. So yeah, see? He's got a magnet. I just like it to be like that, you know, and then he snaps in. So that's one that I happen to have right here. I don't even know why it's here. But I got the nice Von Dutch logo. So a Von Dutch. And then this one I made. This is very cool. I made this a while ago. This is a Herbie the Love Bug. But remember this is a modern VW bug. And I call this the Lindsay Lohan Herbie the Love Bug. So you can see I got the woman figure in there. Remember I showed you last time those the women that were going to be in the Thelma and Lee's? That's the driver. I repurposed her. I was able to buy those loose, and I use them in a lot of cars. I can't get them anymore. So for the Thelma and Louise, I actually took them out of a real car that I wasn't using, a new car. So, but this is all painted and custom decals I made. They have really nice aluminum wheels. So these just happen to be 2 cars. That's the license plate that I made, and I'll be showing a lot more of these custom cars. All right, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys soon at Slot Car Heaven. What did I call it? Slot Car Heaven Workshop, something like that. Workbench Workshop. But yeah, my plan is to share with you all this work and passion I put into this stuff, because I really love doing it, and I'm sort of doing this stuff one-off, one-of-a-kind, and it'd be good to hopefully get some people to get some ideas and ask questions, and love to help anybody to do these kind of things. Have a great day.